Hello everybody, I apologise for being away from Predecessor for so long. I've had things to deal with and Destiny has been sort of calling my name. But we are back and this is the 1.8 patch. I figure I'm just going to be reading a bunch of patch notes when they come out so I can get on top of what's going on with the game, because I have missed a few character releases and they have updated the map a little bit more. So yeah, why not? Let's start with the patch 1.8. Hello champions, we are very excited for the 1.8 patch and we can't believe it's finally here. The final update of the Ashes of the Damned story arc. We're ending it with a bang, not only because of our brand new hero, Akeron, one of the biggest and most complex heroes we've ever created, but also because this update delivers plenty of exciting new content for you to experience and explore, including world shifts. This is, I assume, yeah, this is the map change due to an apocalyptic event, and work strategically around it. The new hero, Akeron, our most complex and terrifying hero design thus far. The infernal tide is turning as we start to shift away from our demonic theme of the last few patches. The Wrath the Ascended skill line and Balpass bring a radiant fury that's as bright as it is powerful. Ranked Split 1 of Season 1 will end. The seasonal rewards distribute to eligible players. Did someone ask for new server locations, updated map visuals, story overhaul, various fixes, improvements, and balance changes? Let's explore these in details, shall we? Oh, thank God, the list is pretty big. This might be a chunky one. New hero, Akeron, the Demon King. I think I'm saying it correctly. Akeron? Akeron? No, Akeron. Akeron is the ruler of the mysterious demon realm, a being who was sought entry into Silmara for as long as history remembers. The entire order of Koru Shinzo was established to prevent him from ever gaining a foothold. For ages they succeeded until recently. Through Rena's betrayal of Koru Shinzo's ideals, Akeron finally achieved what he had long struggled to do: manifest a horrifying physical presence. Now unleashed, he wields both of his otherworldly powers and his terrifying form to their fullest advantage on the battlefield. These are his stat points. I believe he's like a bruiser, so like a pretty tanky dude who does a decent amount of damage. This is his early game stats at level 1, I'm pretty sure, as well. So comment on the stats if you think they are pretty average or pretty good. Starting with his abilities. Pact of the Devourer, which is his passive. Effect: Akeron gains up to 100 stacks of hunger, lasting 1 second and refreshing on application. Each stack provides him with 0.25% ability haste. Akeron gains hunger each time he hits an enemy unit with a basic attack or ability. He gains additional hunger when hit by an enemy's hero's basic attack or once per ability. When Akeron reaches max stacks, he becomes awakened for 10 seconds, maintaining the ability haste, granting him 5% and plus 0.75% per level damage mitigation, and granting his abilities extra effects. Okay. So his basic attack, Flay, dealing 60 physical damage. He has a Hellfire, which is his primary ability, with a cooldown starting at 14 seconds, and then going down by 1 second per level, costing 60. Akeron rears back, opening his maw and unleashing the Demon's Eye forward. The eye moves slowly, revealing enemies it passes, and firing off fireballs in a semi-random location around it. Refire the ability to pause the eye mid-flight. Okay. Each fireball deals 15 damage initially, scaling up by 20, then 20, so it scales up by 20 each time, okay. Dealing this much medical damage, and slows enemies by 10% up to a max of 40%, okay. If an enemy is within range, I will fire an additional homing fireball at them. Each subsequent hit on the enemy target deals 20% less damage, stacking up to 80% reduction. Cool. When awakened, the number of fireballs is increased, so they're really pushing this awakened system to his kit. I don't know if it details how he gets awakened. Oh, when he reaches max stacks. Okay. And that's because of the stacks of hunger. Okay, so you want to get as many stacks of hunger as possible to then get awakened, and then your ability should get stronger because of that. They're really pushing that awakened into his kit. His secondary web slash, with a cooldown of 18 and a cost of 50, Akeron fires a web stopping on the first target hit and causing various effects depending on the target's type. Okay, we've got ground, spawns a web, 3 seconds that slows by 35%. On heroes or units, it damages initially for 45 and then scales up by 35 per level. And his roots increase by 0.1 seconds. So it starts at 1, then every level it increases by 0.1 seconds. Also creating a web field. On walls, lashes it up to 5 seconds. While on a wall, Akeron can use his abilities or leap to the ground, dealing 60 damage and then scaling up by 30 each level, dealing that much damage, knocking up and stunning enemies for a second. Using the jump input while on the wall allows Akeron to leap straight down. When awakened, the leap's range is increased. So once again, playing into the awakened. Crushing more, which is his alternate. Starting with a cooldown of 8 seconds and then going down by 0.5 seconds. Starting with a cost of 40. The cost increases, that's interesting. Increases by 5 mana each level. Akeron deals 70 damage initially, which scales up by 20 per level. Oh, well, 70, then 90, and then it goes up by 40, and then 20 again. Interesting. And it is a cone. Enemies that are close to Akeron take 1.5 times damage and have their armor reduced. That's pretty cool, so it doesn't armor shred. Akeron also heals. The heal is reduced on units, is increased on kill, and subsequent hits deal heal for 25%. Okay. If an enemy is killed, Akeron reduces his non-ultimate active cooldowns by 0.5 seconds. If the enemy is a hero, Akeron becomes awakened. Once again, we're playing into the awakened into his kit. While Akeron is on the wall, his abilities become a roar, affecting the area around him. When awakened, Akeron gains armor equal to the armor reduced. Cooldown starting at 130 and then decreasing by 10 per level, with a cost of 100. Effects. So Akeron slows himself by 35% while pulling and dealing damage, starting at 20 and then ramping up by 10 each time. Dealing that much magic damage to all enemies in a cone every 0.25 seconds for 5 seconds. So that's 20 instances of damage? No, 40. 40? Shoot, I might be wrong, chat. The math is not mathing. 5 divided by 0.25. I think that's 40. Okay. Shit, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. God damn it, man. If an enemy hero collides with Akeron, he bites them, dealing that much damage while healing. And he recovers missing health as well. Okay, that's interesting. Akeron executes enemies bitten under 10%. So you can actually execute enemies. That's pretty cool. Same thing kind of with Feng Mao's ultimate applies here. But their enemy needs to be at 10% of their HP. Okay, that's pretty cool. Each time Akeron successfully executes a hero, he gains bonus physical power and magic power permanently. Okay, so if you really want to slay and beef him up as much as possible, you want to make sure you're executing enemies with your ultimate. When awakened, the pull is increased and the threshold is raised to 15%. Once again, awakened is the main part of his kit. Instead of having to go as low as 10%, it's now 15%. So you have a bigger window or bigger margin to get the buffs up here. And these are his augments. This is interesting. Insatiable Hunger, which is passive utility. Instead of decaying over time, hunger regenerates over time. And is not gained by hitting abilities. Additionally, Awaken lasts twice as long. Okay. We need to test all these. His ultimate, Crowd Control, Consume now pushes instead of pull. And deals 200% increased tick damage but can no longer bite. Okay, so this is to... So you're pushing enemies away from you, but the tick damage is greatly increased. But can you still execute it? I would assume you can still execute them, but you wouldn't want to push them away from you. If you're going to use your ult, you want your enemies to be as close as possible to you. This is interesting. We need to test this out and see what people think. And finally, Death from Above, his secondary, which you can change for mobility. Akeron can fire an additional web projectile from the wall once, allowing him to leap from wall to wall or to root from the wall. So this is, yeah, mobility, just to get to the objective, maybe a little bit faster, maybe chase someone. That's pretty cool. Alright, so that is the breakdown for his kit. I'm going to see if I can show also like videos of his abilities as well. We'll play that if we can find those. Store news. Store overhaul. We've heard your feedback in 1.8 and we're rolling out further improvements to the in-game shopping experience. The store menu has been refined for easier navigation and better visibility of the items you are looking for. The game will also do a better job of recognizing what you might be interested in purchasing, and if you're lucky, you might even see a discount on your dream skin. Cool, yeah. Big problem was that things were a little expensive, especially if you were new to the game. There was literally no way of getting the currency. So this is somewhat good. We've also improved the flow of opening loot cores. You will now be able to open a loot core immediately after purchasing it. In addition, the loot core purchase menu has been cleaned up to look more polished, to clearly showcase the available bundles. You can now check the latest core drops directly from this menu. Cool. We have some skins here. Nice. They look good. Oh yeah, we need to test out Wukong as well. There's an Akeron skin. Here's all some bundles. Here's a battle pass, which we're not going to get into. It's just battle pass. This is important. World shift. We've been working hard to make the core Predecessor experience more exciting, adding new layer of oomph to make the matches feel more varied and cinematic. Whilst we are still hard at work on a new map, okay, confirmed, new map, let's go. World Shift gives us a way to put some of what we've been cooking up directly into the player's hands. This allows us to run both projects in parallel, adding variety to the game right now while we continue to shape the future of the sanctuary behind the scenes. When a world shift is triggered by killing the new Shaper, I think Shapers are the equivalent of Scuttles in League or something like that. Maybe not. I need to have a look. Which appears in the 15-minute mark. In matches, an event will transform the map, bringing dramatic environmental changes. This feature is coming to all current modes, Quick Match, Nitro, and Ranked. The initial release introduces a single world shift, Cataclysm, where the sky splits open and meteors rain down from the map. It's more than just cosmetic though. The subtle changes have a major impact on gameplay. We added new paths, strategically placed rocks, creating new choke points and alternate lines of sight, and geysers that launch players to previously inaccessible areas. Okay. While these map changes are subtle compared to the future themes, we're excited to see how they will shift mid to late game strategy and how players respond to the features as a whole. I think this is pretty cool. I would need to see like how... I mean, to be honest, playing the same map over and over again would get pretty dry and boring. So it's nice that they are adding changes to sort of spice things up, instead of seeing the same color palette over and over again. So that is something I do like. As far as the new paths and like geysers and whatnot, that's just something we'll have to see if we like it. More movement is always a good thing, so I think this is going to be a good change right here. Looking ahead, we've had big plans for World Shift, including improvements to Cataclysm, a completely new shift for our major update in November. From the patch onwards, there will be a possibility of one of our several different shifts being triggered during our match. We know this is a big change, so we want to roll things out gradually and keep closely monitoring player feedback and data to make adjustments as needed. This, I think, is going to be a good feature. World Shift Mechanics Breakdown. A cataclysmic event heralds at the start of a new phase for Predecessor. This is one of our most ambitious updates to date and will dramatically shift how matches play out. A new enemy has been added to the game, the mysterious Shaper. Defeating its seedlings and the Shaper begins a sequence of events that tear a rift into the sky, opening the way for the meteors of Akeron. This apocalyptic event transforms the way you play, as meteors crash down and begin reshaping the world around you. Avoid the fiery meteors hurling toward you, experience the Singe world and claim what you can from it. Master the effects of the first of our world shift events and victory will be yours. So we have a sort of image of what the map looks like. So it's more orange instead of blue, and then so obviously the place looks more destroyed. Cool. How do I get out of this place? Get me out. Oh shoot. Yeah, there we go. We have some new monsters. A new monster pit has opened up where the river bugs once dwelled. Displaced from their home, the bugs have migrated across the river to establish a new colony. Okay, these river bugs are the scuttles from League, basically. But this new, what are they called? Shapers? That's a new feature. So we have some seedlings and what they do. To be honest, the seedlings shouldn't do any damage. It's just an extra thing for jungle to clear, just to kind of help them level up and get a bit more coins in the jungle lanes when you go into the river. So there's some goods there. We'll just do the rewards. The damage isn't relevant. They shouldn't do a lot of damage. 2 seedlings spawn, granting gold at XP. Yeah, a 4-minute timer. And then as you kill this, just as you kill in jungle camps, the seedling gets stronger, and then it gives you more rewards. All that good stuff. We're not going to look too into detail with that. And Shaper spawns at 15-minute timer, so that's something you should remember, giving you a decent amount of gold and XP. And this is what the Shaper looks like here. So I'm not going to click in the image because it took me a while to figure out how to click off it. And these are its abilities. It shouldn't also do too much damage, so I'm not gonna pay too much attention to this. It has a tremor ability, dealing damage, and it has a fissure ability, dealing damage. Okay, and it triggers the Cataclysm event. A special seedling will spawn in each lane and begin pushing towards the enemy base. Okay, and then these are its stats. So this is the seedling that chases your tower. So killing this guy with your team rewards your team with 3 seedlings that accompany the next wave of minions spawn once per lane. Okay, so you can get 9 seedlings pushing. Okay, if ignored, they can do some chunky damage. They're probably stronger than regular minions, but not too tough. And these are the stats. We have some gold plants. For this world shift, gold plants are being introduced. You'll find several in each jungle quadrant in the river and 1 in each side lane. Defeating a gold plant drops 5 gold orbs, each worth 12 gold. So 60 in total. Volcanic geysers. Will launch players atop for 2 seconds after stepping on them. And then they'll be inactive between 8 to 12 seconds. Before being active again. Okay, so good for movement. Meteorites. A bombardment begins as meteorites, oh Jesus Christ, streak across the sky before slamming into the earth with violent force. Shockwaves erupt from each impact, hurling towards nearby targets in a concussive blast. While not designed to be lethal, each strike inflicts a small amount of damage. When the dust settles, the battlefield is permanently scarred. Superheated rock may call into jagged new terrain, creating cover and obstacles, or the sheer force of impact may shatter walls and structures, opening new pathways and strategic flanking routes. That's pretty cool. What we're launching in update 1.8 is only one flavor of world shift, with many more to come. We'll be listening closely to your feedback, so let us know how you're finding it and what you'd like to see in the future. This is something I need to just genuinely see. It looks like a good feature. It looks like a refreshing thing to see. It offers movement options, a new color palette, which is nice. In addition to world shit, we have made a handful of changes to the base map. So, some goodies here. Not just pause and read if you want to look at that. It's just kind of talking about the top here. And these are some images to sort of show you. Okay. Oh, God. Are we... Oh, there's so much goddamn to read. Rank split. As we mentioned previously, ranked season 1 split 1. Guys, someone tell me what split is. Rank split. What the hell is that? Just call it ranked. So there's some rank downtime, goody. Then you'll receive your rewards. Players who win at least 15 ranked matches during this will receive an exclusive Morigesh skin. Okay. Ranked teams compatibility update. We're adjusting the rules to make it easier for squads to queue together. Bronze players can squad with friends up to gold. Ooh. This is gonna have some issues. Some big... I'm curious. If a bronze player plays with a gold player, can that bronze player fight 4 gold players in the same game? Like, what's... This seems like a bit rough. You know, unless you do a mix of bronze and gold players. I don't know, we need to see. I get the point, you want to play with friends that are in higher ranks, but this is going to have some problems with matchmaking and fairness. All other ranks can squad with friends with 1 full rank of them. Plat can queue in with gold or diamond. Wait, what? All other ranks can squad with friends with 1 full rank. But bronze can play up to gold. Okay, so bronze are restricted to gold, but gold can do silver or plat. Okay, so one above, 1 below. Cool. Some Japanese servers. Nice. If you play in Japan or somewhere in Asia and you have Japanese servers, this is for you. There's an NVIDIA update. We don't need to look at that. It's anniversary rewards. If you participate in the anniversary event, I don't think I did, there'll be a reward and a pop-up notification. Ooh, gameplay balance changes. So, multi-kill timer. When evaluating the moment-to-moment gameplay of team fights, we found that there was a significant amount of multi-kills going unrecognized because the in-game window was too short. We want to try and increase this window so that the exciting moments are highlighted properly, with the hope that they can occur more regularly. So the required window of time between kills to be identified as a multi-kill has been increased. Okay. Recall speed. After experimenting with backing speed in Nitro, we found a significant portion of players note that they enjoyed being able to go back to the action quicker. While we understand that there is exciting, intense gameplay around backstopping, we want to test bringing the Nitro speed to standard to see how it feels. Oh, nice. The recall time has been decreased from 8 to 6. Premium powered recall is 4 seconds, that's fine. Oh, no more long recalls. Hopefully. This is obviously going to be well received because you can get back into the fight quicker. 8 to 6. That's a pretty good. We'll have to see how that feels. Before it did feel kind of slow recalling, because by the time you get back, buy your item, and then walk back to your lane, your tower's probably gone. So that, or you miss a big team fight. So this is good. This is a good change. Fountain healing. Have you ever accidentally left your base without while missing just a smidge of health or mana? Yes. With this change, we're attempting to eliminate that feels bad experience, but also generally smoothing out the regeneration to come in much smaller chunks. So the fountain regeneration effect is now applied as a 2-second buff that continues, constantly refreshes while inside the fountain. And then that issue with the little bit of health that remained is now gonna be fixed. So that's good. Refillable and divine potions. Using potions to peak efficiency can be a difficult skill to master even for veterans. With this change, we're hoping to enable a bit more flexibility as to when and how you can use your potions, allowing you to free your mind of one less task in the midst of a hectic team fight or intense 1v1. If you think you need healing for a long time over the next big fight, pop both these potion stacks. Huh? Multiple potions can now be used in succession if there are stacks remaining, increasing the duration of potion healing effect. Note, this is a very short spam protection, so you don't accidentally double pop. Oh. Okay. Nice. Ward destruction. Wards and vision is incredible. Are incredibly important aspects of macro play, and as such we want to try and make that experience of interacting with them as smooth as possible. We have identified an area of frustration around ward disappearing while players are attacking them, so we want to experiment with an adjustment to their functionality that minimizes that pain point. So they've decreased the base ward visibility duration. When a ward is visible and damaged, it gains an additional 1.5 seconds of visibility to its timer. A ward has 0.5 visibility when I damage it. Okay, so they made some ward changes here. Ooh. Jungle monster healing. One of the most unfortunate experiences as a jungler is when your camp leash just before you get the last hit. Watching them sprint away. Yes, healing a huge chunk of their health. We want to decrease that frustration, so we decrease the amount of healing they do as they're running back, giving you a better shot. Okay, so they still run back, but the amount of health they gain back is not as much. Okay. And then, yeah, health regeneration is lower. Oh, ward vision has been increased. Okay. I guess there was probably a gank. Well, no, ganking has been pretty good, I want to say, in this game. Oh, maybe that's why. Maybe there's been too many ganks happening, and like the wards just didn't feel effective enough. I don't know, they just put like sort of one line here and they didn't go into detail about it, so I don't know why they've buffed it. If you guys play the game and you think wards sucked before, tell me why. Because they felt fine before, but I don't know. Nitro balance. Changes like standard erect nitro has been updated with world shift. Nice. So all the changes are intended to support the advantage of teams, get better chance of ending the game at certain points. So Nitro, I think, is all about finishing the game faster, I assume. Like speeding, clearing lanes faster, getting back into base faster, all that stuff. So yeah, I don't think I've been playing. The last time I played, I don't think Nitro existed, so this must have been a recent change. Some stat changes. Kill, gold, and XP have been slightly increased. To ensure players receive enough advantage from killing opponents. To compensate for the added gold, lane minions and jungle minions have had their gold slightly reduced. Oh, jungle is getting worse. Kills, so executions or just killing enemies, you get 50 more gold. Some bounty changes have been increased. Nice. And then they've also increased kill XP. Out of combat movement. Ooh. Move speed has been increased. That's a good thing. Ensure the map progresses at the correct pace. Players can now move to objectives and attack towers. We are slightly increasing their out of combat movement speed. Yeah, this is a good feature. Yeah. When you're backing out and then you're trying to get back into the lane, it's felt like such a drag. So this is a good change. Premium death timers. They've increased death timers between 7 and level 13. So okay. So if you die, you're gonna have to wait longer. Okay. That's a little annoying. But we'll see how that is. I guess to stop once you kill an opponent in a team fight, you don't want them coming back sooner, I guess. So they've made the timers longer for that. We'll have to see how that works. Structures. Outer and inner towers now give additional gold, and all structures have had their health reduced. Ooh, this means it will feel more impactful to hit a structure with a hero. Minion tower damage has been heavily reduced to make them do less damage to towers overall. Okay, yeah, because you're the main, so I guess you're supposed to be doing the main amount of damage to the tower because you're the hero. So they've buffed the damage we do. Oh no, they haven't buffed our damage. They've reduced the amount of health that those towers have, so that we don't have to hit the tower as much. But to compensate for this, the minion damage to the towers has been reduced. Okay. And also gold from the plates. The tower plates have been increased. Good. Nice. And then some changes to the towers and inhibitor and everything else. Oh, even the core got its health reduced. Minions are receiving two major changes. Firstly, their gold is decreased to account for the increased gold in kills and structure. Okay. Secondly, we are decreasing their damage to towers. We want to see less towers dying alone to minion waves. Really? Minions are destroying towers like that? We're also reducing the ability of structures, the durability of structures a little bit, but it also feels more meaningful for heroes to hit towers. Okay, so this is some changes they've done to minions. They've basically made them trash. But god damn, they've done so many changes. Siege minions, so these are the big chunky guys, the cannons, have had additional reduction in gold when 2 siege minions start spawning per wave. Overall, double siege minion waves have been giving too much gold, and this has benefited defenders too much, allowing them to quickly catch up on gold leads in the latter part of the game. Okay, so they've basically made minions less inviting to farm, and they sort of want people to play more offensive and play into the towers and try and get executions off. Okay. Jungle. Similar to lane minions, all jungle minions have had their gold reduced. So all jungle minions, does this include the buffs? Like the river buff? Or is this just the camps? Junglers were not able to keep the correct pace of the XP curve compared to laners. Aha, yes, this is 100%. This is good. Back then, like a few months ago, it was harder to get XP as a jungler than it was if you were playing into any of the lanes. So to work around this, they've added extra camps because they're adding the, what are they called? Scuttle? I'm just going to call them Skull. They've added a few new camps to increase XP, and they've also in general increased the amount of XP junglers are getting, which is good. So all jungle monsters give you extra XP, but less gold. Fix the bug where you didn't get a level 2 from taking the free camp. Okay. Fang and Primal Fang buffs have increased to support games ending more decisively when ahead. Okay. So it went from 6% to 8% for the stat buff. Primal Fang has had golden XP slightly reduced to balance the introduction of the Shaper. Okay. Orb has had his gold. Oh, everything is getting there. All the minions and camps have had their golden XP reduced. Apart from junglers. Interesting. And finally, the hero changes. Let me just have a look at all the hero changes. How many are there? Oh my god. Okay guys, there are a lot of hero changes. I'm not going to read each one because this would make this like a 2-hour video, I swear to God. So I'm going to slowly go down, and then you pause and look at your character, see if you have any slight disagreements with the changes or buffs. But yeah, feel free to pause at any time. And yeah. That has been all the heroes done. And then the items, to be honest, I don't think really anyone cares too much about. It's just changes to costs, really, and then maybe minor stat changes. So I'm just going to kind of scroll through here. Oh, and finally, to the end, the bug fixes. Fixed an issue where using blink on controller while looking at an enemy would shift the player's camera in unintended ways. Fixed an issue where the battle pass scroll bar was offset, making horizontal navigation difficult. Fixed an issue where users could be unintentionally locked into a movement direction when using the in-game shop search bar while moving. Fixed an issue where Kira's dust could damage enemies outside of Revenant's Nether Realm while she is inside it. Fixed an issue where Revenant's Scar and Obliterate could not correctly target or damage Lieutenant Bellica's Void Drone. So a lot of Revenant stuff. Fixed an issue where Margesh's Hive would not indicate the slow duration correctly above the enemy's hero health bars. Fixed an issue where the lane guidance waypoints could reappear when a user reconnects to the match. Fixed an issue where a transferred blue buff would remain active for 2 minutes instead of 45 seconds. Fixed an issue where Boris could not be granted kill credit when dunking an enemy hero into his base with Ursine Burst. Fixed an issue where Greystone's Stoneforged Soul voice effect would persist when used in conjunction with Echelon Cloak. Ooh, and that's it. This is easily one of our largest patches to date. Yes, I was not reading all the hero changes. And we hope you'll have fun with it for weeks to come. As always, let us know what you think of new content, and we'll be listening until next time. Bloodmordius. God, what a badass name. Well, that has been the changes, guys. I'm just going to see if there's any videos we can see of his abilities, the main man, the main legend. So let me look into him. They didn't really put any videos, so I might not be able to. Okay, anyway. That has been 1.8. Patch 1.8 for Predecessor. The next video I'm going to do is probably going to be trying to look into these changes for the patch notes and sort of play a game and see how I feel. As always, like, comment, and subscribe so that I can get out of 276 subs and place me at 300, guys. Come on, we're so close. We're at the final stretch of 300, and I need to get there as fast as possible. Namco Joe, I cannot have you beating me when you're not uploading any videos on YouTube. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.